well. And
Physically,
and they don't talk.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Suits your needs.
yeah. So we went to dinner, and I just had this suspicion, when I grabbed her hand, and I cut myself, and I thought, well, come on, what's going on here? So I took my knife out, plunged it into her chest,
Right.
and just ripped it open. And of course, it was made of wood, and there were a bunch of wires in there.
Right.
So I look for wires. Now the second reason is that I'm in the mob, and sometimes people wear wires.
Right. So two different sorts of wires.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, they're both made of.
They're both made of wire. They both have wires in them.
Copper and plastic, but
Yeah.
right. I see how you would answer that question the way you did.
Yeah. Define a truly successful relationship.
I'm glad you asked me that question. Envious, obnoxious, or offensive, likely to promote ill will.
Okay.
That's
all right.
That's how I used to
define it.
Right, you asked me to.
Because I asked. Yeah.
What happened with your last relationship, huh?
Well, in the last relationship I had, we were just fighting all the time, and
like arguing.
Well, we were actually fight, like
fist to fist,
right, kind of thing, because the person I was dating was a world heavyweight kickboxing.
Yeah, I remember her.
And what happened was she plucked out my right eye.
That's what happened.
That's why I'm blind in my right eye now.
Right.
But it's not a real eye now.
It's a false one.
And I shot her. And that's it. And never been brought up on charges for that.
I see that you are still looking for the right woman.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You haven't given up on love.
No, I haven't given up on love, and I don't let that faze me. I don't let it bother me.
That a boy.
For a while there, it was bothering me. It was sort of like, could I have done something different?
No.
Should I have just, incapacitated her in some way?
You can't do that.
But I realized,
then she'd learn.
I have a gun, and I had to shoot, and when you shoot, you got to shoot to kill.
That's what guns are for.
Yeah. So, so what were your life-changing moments?
One time when I was 5 years old, I was at the playground, and there was this other kid there, Mike Boyle, and there was so Mike Boyle and I we didn't know each other very well, but he was there. And then this other girl, Trinity Fashion, was there as well, and she had really big glasses, but they were cool glasses. It was 1989, 1989, might have been 1990, and so she was there, and Mike Boyle and I were there, and she was standing at the top of the slide, and he was impatient, and he came up behind her, and he pushed her, and she fell. She went face forward like this down. And then her face hit the slide, and she slid. She slid down like this, and then when she came up, she had this big smile on her face, and she wasn't hurt, and nothing was broken. She had a big smile on her face, and she turned around and she said, "God bless you, Mike Boyle." And I just really thought that was it was unexpected that she wouldn't be hurt, and then I thought it was so magnanimous of her to turn around and bless Mike Boyle, because he had just been. I don't think he meant to hurt her.
No.
I know that he was impatient, but that was probably the number one thing in my life that's defined who I am today. Was this interaction on the playground in 1989, 1990 while I was 5 years old. So that's all I have to say about that question.
Yeah, well, that's.
I think you can see why.
I can see it, and I appreciate that.
What's the weirdest thing about you?
Well, the weirdest thing about me is, I don't have a real butt. It's not real. I was born without butt cheeks, and what happened was without a bottom. Yeah, sorry. And so I had to get this stuff injected in me, Uh, what you see now is, of course, it's wonderful, but it's not really mine, and that's sort of a weird thing. I mean, not everybody's born that way. It's also, yeah, it's also too small for my body. So it's like this big, and it's not the right size because I grew and it didn't. And so,
are your pants pants you can buy in a store? Do you have to send away?
well,
How does it work about that?
my mom used to make me pants, and she still sort of does that. I've been wearing the same pants for a while. She makes me pants with this lining in them, and I wear a bottom suit that's kind of like it's like having swimming trunks on it, and you have the lining in it so that it's, But, it really hasn't affected me that much in my life, I mean, I find that women are okay with that sort of thing, and they just like you to be honest about it. Are you cheap or thrifty?
That's a question I don't know the answer to right away. So I don't have a lot of money. So I actually I borrow. It's after thrift stores close. I borrow things from them. I go into the back and I borrow without the permission of the people who work there or who sell clothes there. I borrow things from them. So to an extent, I'm thrifty because I'm making use of the thrift store.
That's right.
But also to an extent because I'm not paying for any of it, I'm cheap.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think that am I cheap or thrifty? Maybe I'm both.
It's kind of a trick question, I think.
And thrifty.
Yeah.
But thank you for keeping me on my toes with these questions.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and that's our job.
Never complacent.
Yeah.
Which is the one book that has really impressed you?
I don't let books impress me. I read books a lot, and every time I read it, I think this is a bunch of crap, and I throw it away.
I can see what you do.
And so the key to reading a book is you've got to practice totally rejecting everything that's said to you, and that's what I do. So I don't let books affect me at all.
That's a great answer.
Would you have plastic surgery done on your body?
Well, let me answer your question with another question.
Okay.
What do you think of this? What do you think? Do you think I would ever have?
I just look. Either way I answer, I feel like I'm, saying something wrong.
Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
Thanks. What was your most embarrassing moment?
Well, the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me was, my parents took me to a playground, and so I was playing with all these kids, and I'm kind of a show off. So I went to I bet all the kids that I could go through the playground like an obstacle course faster than they could. So I did. And it was just really embarrassing because they couldn't do it, and they knew they couldn't do it, and I knew they couldn't do it.
It was embarrassing for you.
So it was really embarrassing for me that they would ever accept my challenge in the first place. Right. So, God, I still think about that, and I shudder, and I just think, ugh, why? They shouldn't have done that. Tell me about your family and your best friend.
When I was 8 years old, I had a pumpkin that I carved myself. It was the first time that I was allowed to carve a pumpkin. I used a small. It had came in a packet. It had an orange handle and then teeth, serrated knife, and I cut off the top, and I opened it up, and I scooped out all the seeds and the strings and stuff, and then I cut a face on it, and it's going like that. And his name was Tom Pumpkin.
Tom,
and he was around for a little while, and then it got cold, so Tom needed to go into the backyard, and he needed to sit under a tree. And then one day I looked out, and there were squirrels inside Tom, and they had they'd eaten parts of Tom, and Tom had collapsed in on himself a little bit. It was so I don't think it's the fault of all squirrels that this happened, but I do think it's the fault of the squirrels that were involved. that had happened.
Mm.
So that's about I guess it's about both my family and my best friend
Yeah.
Tom Pumpkin.
Yeah. Well, it's a very sad story, and I know a lot of
It's a
us.
true story too.
Yeah, a lot of us have had a lot of problems with squirrels, and what I'm really happy to say is
Hmm.
that you don't blame all the squirrels because we
No,
do have squirrel friends
yeah,
here.
some
That
Merle.
Merle the squirrel, he comes in the house all the time, and um,
We just party till the break of dawn.
yeah, and he would never get inside a pumpkin.
No, he knows a thing or two about pumpkins, and
It's not like that.
it's not.
So,
So thank you for all your questions to me. That was I really
yeah,
feel like maybe
mm,
maybe I'll be calling you a little later about all of this.
yeah. I want to thank you also for your questions. They've really helped me to sort of process some of my feelings about this, and
It's nice to think about that.
I like you a lot.
Thank you. I like me a lot too.
Okay.
Thanks everybody. We'll see you on the flip side.
From Television City in Hollywood. Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made.
Those were the days. And you do when you want
Girls and men were men. Mr. Baker, use